What's going on, guys? It's Jackson here from Jackson Go Gamecocks. Today, as you guys might know, we will be talking about college football. So I have a few topics to get over today. The first topic I want to talk about is the Big Ten changing the rules so that Ohio State can play in the conference finals. Now, I don't think this is right, because imagine you having to tell a Tom Allen-led Indiana team that they did everything right and you want them to not play for a Big Ten championship. I mean, you guys can disagree with me all you want. These are just my opinions. But I don't think it's right for them to change it just because Ohio State didn't play enough games. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like they were fair in doing that. I don't think that Michigan canceled their game so that Ohio State could make it. I think they really did have COVID problems. But at the same time, I do feel like they are, I feel like they should not deserve to be there. Now, do I think Northwestern can compete with Ohio State? I don't know. I feel like they'll hang in there for a little while and then Ohio State will pull away. But I think Alabama right now is so far ahead of the pack that it doesn't even really matter. They played Arkansas today. I don't know what day you're watching this, but this is Saturday, December 12th. But today they played Arkansas and they beat them 52-3. And obviously we knew they were going to win this game. We did wonder how much Arkansas could put up a fight, but they did not really put up a fight. I think that Alabama is not. I think they're very far ahead of the pack. I mean, they have incredible receivers and a great running back, good quarterback. I think Najee Harris is one of the best running backs in college football. Obviously, I think Kevin Harris from South Carolina, he actually is one of the best running backs in college football statistically. I don't remember if it's yards or touchdowns, but I know he leads the SEC in one of the two categories. But Najee Harris is a beast. He's a good running back. I've seen some comparisons drawn between him and Barry Sanders, which is very highly touted. I think that you have, Devonta Smith, John Mechie. You had Jalen Waddle before he got hurt. And their passing game is just deadly. And Nick Saban has been able to stick with the college football trends, and he's been able to keep his teams good because he can adapt to those trends. Second thing of business, I'm really interested to see the SEC championship game between Florida and Alabama. Now, Alabama, they have a deadly passing attack. They have an okay statistical defense. It's gotten better as the season progresses. Patrick Surtain, I can't think of everybody, but I know Patrick Surtain is one of the best corners in college football. I think they have a pretty well-rounded defense. Their defensive coordinator is getting a lot of hate earlier in the season for the game against Ole Miss, when Ole Miss put up 40 points on them. But they have statistically gotten better and better as the season progresses. Right now, this is before the Florida-LSU game. I think that game could be interesting. I think LSU's offense can hang in there. I think Florida will pull away in the second half. But Florida is sort of the same. It's sort of like the same way of Alabama, except I don't think their defense is as good. I think Florida, they have Kyle Trask, that he can throw the ball. That dude can throw it. I think that they have a lot of weapons like Kyle Pitts. They have Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney. They have guys like that can really make plays. But at the same time, I think that they can make plays, but I don't think they'll be able to hang in there with Alabama. I think Alabama's defense is better, and I think they can make a few stops on Florida, and I just don't know if Florida's defense can do that. I'm interested to see this LSU game because it'll sort of put Florida to the test. I know their Georgia game was a test, but at the same time, they didn't have Georgia didn't have JT Daniels when they played that game. So, I mean, it's really like a whose offense outduels whose offense. It's going to be impressive to see whoever wins that game. Now, if Florida wins that game, I think you pull Ohio State out of there, because there's no way you can justify not having Alabama in there. You can't justify not having Clemson in there. They've only lost one game, and that was when Notre Dame beat them without Trevor Lawrence. But Notre Dame, I don't think there's any way, even if you lose. Sorry, I just got something on my phone, but I don't think there's any way Florida loses that game. That's not what I meant. I don't think there's any way you can't pull Notre Dame out. Because Notre Dame has looked very strong. Their biggest test obviously coming with Clemson. And I know people say that, their quarterback was missing. But DJ from Clemson, that guy, it's not like he was a scrub. He could play. He played a pretty good game that game. Now, if Florida loses, I think it's gonna be really tough for the committee between Ohio State and Texas A&M. Personally, I think I'm probably gonna get some heat for this, but I probably think that Texas A&M deserves to be in it more. They played 9 games, and I know Ohio State canceling their games is not their fault, but I think 9 games and their only loss being to Alabama, and it was a blowout, but it wasn't like a blowout. They only lost by 21 points. And I think Kellen Mond has consistently gotten better and better over the weeks. Isaiah Spiller is a good running back. They have a lot of weapons. Who do you guys think down below should be the top 4 teams in college football? I think it's the top 4 now. I think you have to add in Florida or Texas A&M, because one of the two, Texas A&M obviously is the best win of the season against Florida in College Station. But I think that it's going to be really tough for the committee to put in 2 SEC teams, unless Florida beats Alabama. Third order of business. I don't know if you guys saw this. You probably did. My Gamecocks hired Shane Beamer to be their next head coach. Now, me personally, I really like this hire because I think that he will bring a passion to Carolina that hasn't been there since, Steve Spurrier. I think if he does work out and he wins games, I think you're going to have a place that is, I don't even know how to explain it. I know how it was back in the glory days of South Carolina football in it was really like 2009 to 2013, 14 when Spurrier was rolling. I know that the fans were crazy. It's the love for football in the area is insane. Now, I don't know if you guys probably don't know this, but he grew up in Charleston. He coached at South Carolina from 2007 to 2010 as a recruiting coordinator. He also worked with I think outside linebackers. He's been at Tennessee, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Georgia, Virginia Tech with his dad. He's been at a lot of places. I think that he is going to be I think he cares more about the program than Muschamp did. I think he wants better for the program, and I really hope he's able to retain a lot of the guys that they have, because they have a lot of talent. They just haven't been able to keep them getting better. And I think he's the guy that's able to do that. Now, it also depends on who he gets as his coordinators, who he's able to get through early signing period. But I think it really does matter who he gets there, because he can only do so much. He's going to really need good coordinators. I've heard a few names like Garrett Riley, Lincoln Riley's brother, who obviously Shane Beamer's working at Oklahoma now, coaches Lincoln Riley. And I think I've heard Derek Mason a little bit from Vanderbilt as the defensive coordinator. Obviously, I don't know because I'm not an insider, but I do know that I think he's going to bring a new passion to the program. Now, in his presser, he came out and he hit a home run ball. if you're into that kind of stuff, he hit an absolute home run ball, and he had a great press conference. But if you're not, and you're like, well, no, that doesn't win games. You're right, it doesn't win games. But I think his passion is what will win us some games. And then another thing I would like to talk about, I think we have to talk about New Year's Six Bowls. Now, I personally really want to see Coastal get a New Year's Six Bowl. They probably won't, but I think they deserve it. They beat a BYU team that's really good. Jamie Chadwell's done a phenomenal job down there. His offense is something that a lot of people haven't really seen. But the New Year's Six Bowls, I think you're gonna have a few teams. Obviously, I think you're gonna have like the Georgias of the world and those kind of teams. But I really hope that they make the right decisions for those. Personally, I'm hoping that they go to I hope a lot of SEC teams go to a New Year's Six Bowl, because that means my Gamecocks get to play a bowl game, because if they get to play a bowl game, then we will obviously it's like a whole extra 2 weeks of practice, so that's a big deal. Guys, that's really all I have for today's video. I'm glad that you came to watch me. I really hope you enjoyed the video. And sorry if you heard clicking, that's my brother Lincoln. He is playing Minecraft over here. But this is all from me, Jackson, and go Gamecocks, baby.